What up, IDS Mob? HarryWilmington here. And today I'm going to be reviewing a video by the Playing with Fire channel called Asking Guys with Hot Girlfriends How They Met. And I wanted to review this particular video because I know there are some of you that watch these videos and are thinking like, man, I wish I knew how to meet women, but maybe I don't know which way to go. Should I be doing online dating? Should I be doing cold approaches? Should I be meeting through friends? And so this video, this guy is going through the streets of, I believe, Miami, just stopping couples and asking them, hey, how did you guy right here, meet this extremely hot girl and get together with her? And I think it's very eye-opening to see, A, the kinds of guys that are in these videos, and also the fact that these guys, that some of them are very just average looking, were able to get these hot looking women, and then them talking about how they got it, I thought would be great insight for you to watch, all right? So let's go ahead and check out this video.
What's up, guys? In this video, we'll be going up to random couples on the street where the girl is hot and asking them how they met. And the results might surprise you. Excuse me, hi. We're asking couples how they met. Do you mind telling us how you guys met?
Here in Miami, actually.
Was it like on the street, at a bar?
Right, that building.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you saw her and you just came up to her and said hi?
Yes.
So to recap, this guy met this attractive woman at a building. He walked up to her and said hi. I'm telling you guys, it doesn't really necessarily have to take a whole lot of spitting game to get a pretty woman. If you even have the boldness to go up to her, oftentimes they'll respond to that because most guys aren't doing that.
Initially met up?
No, dating up.
Okay. Tinder or which one?
Bumble.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And what do you got?
So they met on Bumble. They met through a dating app. And Bumble's the app where when you match with somebody, the woman has to send a message first. So that means she had to spit the first line to him to start a rapport that led to a date and then eventually to a relationship.
You guys mind sharing really quickly how you met? Just the gym?
So they met at the gym. So you guys are wondering, oh my gosh, I can't approach women in the gym because I'm afraid X, Y, and Z. This is a great place to meet people, for one, because obviously she's going to be fit. And if you want a woman that's fit, you know that you're going to be able to find her in the gym. Also, number two, working out tends to spark up endorphins in both men and women, which makes them more open to talking to somebody, you know? And also, like I said, yeah, you'll be able to know you guys have an activity already that you can spend time doing together. So it's a great place to try to meet people. Obviously, you want to approach them respectfully in those environments. And if you need help on how to learn how to do that, go to introvertdatingsuccess.com and sign up for coaching.
Do you guys mind sharing how you guys met up?
It's not a good story.
No, we want those not so good stories.
It's just a dating app.
Okay, which app? Tinder, okay.
Now, obviously, some people are still very apprehensive about telling other people that they met through a dating app. I personally found that meeting women through a dating app was a great way to meet a lot of highly attractive women, women that maybe are a little busy or don't want to hit the club and, dance scene and stuff like that to meet people. And so this is why I tell you guys, you shouldn't have biases towards any particular way of meeting women. You should be open to all of them because all these various ways to meet women can help you funnel in a wide variety of women versus just only like a couple of women here or there.
There's nothing wrong with that. Would you mind sharing really quickly how you guys initially met?
We were at destination wedding.
And you guys didn't know each other?
No.
Okay. And then who came up to who?
We were actually each other's partners, like the groomsman, and then I was bridesmaid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Would you mind?
So, moral of that story is, guys, if your friend asks you to be a groomsman in a wedding, say yes. Because what will typically happen is, let's say the groomsman will have like 4 or 5 groomsmen in his party, and then the woman will have 4 or 5 bridesmaids in her party. And then so when they're before the woman walks down the aisle, all the bridesmaids and groomsmen walk down the aisles together. And so they pair you up. And the person they pair you with could be a person that you actually end up getting along with because you got to walk with them to the altar and then back from the altar once they've done the whole ceremony. And so that could be a great place to be able to meet somebody that you end up connecting with, So always be open to opportunities that are available for you to meet women. And I know as an introvert, that can be hard because you're like, but Harry, I want to go to the same places. I don't want to do extra. Take yourself out of your environment for a little bit in your introverted head and be willing to do something a little extra for a friend here and there. You never know what it could lead to.
Sharing really quickly how you guys met?
Tinder.
Okay. Who messaged?
Another online couple.
Who first?
Me.
Okay, cool. He had a good profile?
No, I don't think so.
Not so much, right?
Not so much, yeah.
So notice, this is interesting here, right? So they met on Tinder, And when he asked her if he had a good profile, she said no. And so obviously I have programs that can help you to put together a great bio and great pictures. But this always goes back to, if a woman sees something in you that she finds attractive, then that stuff will definitely help. But in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter. Like, she's like, despite how average looking his profile was, I still gave him a shot, and now we're together. All right.
Give mutual friends.
Okay. What about you guys? A club. Okay. Cool. What do you?
So you had one couple here that met through mutual friends, and one couple here that met through the club. So to all you people that are saying, oh, you can't meet anybody good in the club, this is an example of, like, you might have a bias towards that. And hey, I was never a club person, but the times that I would go out and hang out with people, even if I was going with like a group of friends or whatever, I could still meet people in those environments that I could connect with, maybe make out with, maybe eventually do other things with. But I'm saying you can't discount environments, right? And then the thing with meeting through friends, this is where I say, like, even though we have a lot of newfound technology and stuff today, the reality is your close network of friends could probably be one of the best ways for you to connect with new people. Because what will happen is you already have somebody in there that can verify for you that you're a good dude. So you have your guy friend like, hey, so-and-so, hey, Susie, this is so-and-so, whatever. Well, Susie's going to be more apt to trust you versus a completely strange guy that she has no connections to, simply because of that simple connection you guys have together, okay? So don't discount that, all right?
You guys mind sharing how you met?
I've been on Tinder.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Was this a while ago or recently?
4 months ago.
Oh, wow. Okay. Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You had a good opener?
I don't remember exactly.
Cool. Would you guys mind sharing?
So yeah, another person that met online. So Tinder, Hinge, Bumble, OkCupid. You might want to consider having your profile on at least 2 or 3 different dating app sites. So again, you can get a better reach of people that are out there. But again, that's why I say don't discount online and phone app dating. It can work. Now, if you need methods on what to do when you're on these platforms, go to my website. I'm happy to help you out.
Sharing how you initially met real quick?
Chemistry class.
Yeah,
Was it high school or college?
high school.
High school.
Okay. And then who came up to who?
Me.
Okay. You were like, we're in chemistry class. I think we have some chemistry. Let's.
Yeah.
It was a little cheesy pickup line.
Yeah.
Okay. And how long have you guys been dating?
A year.
A year
today.
Cool.
today.
Awesome. Well, congrats on your 1-year anniversary. Do you guys mind?
So I want to point this out, right? Because she was very attractive and they were in classes together. Notice she said she came up to him. Now, what do I tell you guys all the time? That when women like you, they help you. So chances are they were in class together. Maybe they had a seat next to each other, maybe not. But at some point, maybe she realized, I really like this guy. He's not seeming to come up to me. So I want to make sure that he knows I exist and that I'm available. Let me go up to him. And we don't know in what way she actually went about starting a conversation. She could have been passive about it. Maybe she was more straightforward. But the point is that she made that move. What do I always tell you guys? If she's chasing you, she can't be replacing you. And this is why you want to look for women that ideally already have high interest in you. Now, in the beginning, obviously, you're not going to know for sure if a woman's level of interest is very high or low, but this is where you look for context clues. You look for how often is she hanging around you. You look to see if she's trying to suggest spending time one-on-one with just you. These are all great signs, especially if you're like high school or college, that could indicate that this woman wants to get you know you more because she's possibly interested.
Not sharing how you guys met?
Sure.
Met online.
Yeah.
Well, like Tinder, Bumble.
No,
Instagram.
we go to the University of Miami.
Okay.
And we on like an Instagram page.
You slid in the DMs?
She
Exactly.
Oh, she slid in your DMs.
No.
Oh, shit.
He
Okay.
did.
It seems to be conflicting narratives going on here. Who slid into whose DMs?
Who cares?
Okay. Cool. You had a good opener?
What?
You had a good opener?
No,
I
it
don't
was
remember.
rough.
That was rough. All right. Cool.
Well, it worked.
Awesome, guys. Thanks for participating.
Yep.
So I like this. So for one, we there's a mix-up in the story of who started with who and whatever. But when he said, was his opener great? Her response was, no, it was not great. But look, they are together. So this is why I stress this, because some of you guys think, well, I need to have the absolute perfect opener to be able to go up to her and get her interested. And here she's telling you his opener was crap. But yet and still, of the two of them, she's a lot harder than he is. And yet he was still able to get her to go out with him. All right. So this shows you once again that the hottest girls in the world don't necessarily need you to have the best opener or even the best profile, but the fact that you're approaching, like, I don't know if you've been on YouTube or stuff and seen things where hot women are like, dudes never approach me because they all think that I'm with somebody. So you could be the one guy that has the boldness to approach her, and you're thinking, but she gets approached all day, and that could be far from the truth. She could be so hot that dudes are afraid to approach her, and then by you being the one that does, you win, you know?
Would you mind sharing really quickly how you met?
Oh, we met at C-Spice, yeah.
A C-Spice? Yeah. Okay, you guys seem like really unsure.
Spice, don't remember me.
Okay.
Just had a bottle of wine, that's why.
Okay. Was she working, or were you guys both there having a drink?
I was drinking at work, so that's a very bad problem.
Okay. Do you mind?
Now that dude looked like he had money. He could be fronting, but he had like the really nice suit on, like the business attire. But I point this out because you've already seen and you're gonna see that there are other guys that maybe aren't dressed as nicely or maybe don't have the nicest job that are still able to get women as hot as the girl that he was currently with, right? So I just want to point that out.
Sharing how you guys met up?
Yeah, we can share, yeah. We met in Egypt.
In Egypt? Okay, cool.
I just want to point out, just like I was previously saying, this dude has like a striped on shirt. You can tell he's clearly not the best at being in shape because he's got the man boobs happening and the yellow shorts in the middle of the day. Like this is not the ideal outfit a guy would be wearing trying to impress a woman, but I imagine they've been together for a while. You can see she's still pretty fit and she's still pretty attractive for however old she is. But like, yeah, he was able to get her, and we'll see how that played out.
Were you both at a bar or something, or?
No, she came with her parents, and I came with my parents, and then we met over there.
Okay, did you like come up to her and say hi?
No, we were just sharing a boat.
But we met when we were young.
Well, you guys still seem pretty young, so.
No, we were like 13 or so.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, so you've been together for like decades.
No, and then we met 10 years later through LinkedIn.
We met ourselves through LinkedIn afterwards.
Awesome. Cool. Would you guys mind?
That almost counts like online dating. But the point is this, right? So he met her years ago, maybe in their childhood or teenagehood, and then didn't talk for like 10 years, re-met on LinkedIn, and now they're together, okay? So I say this because there may be women you maybe dated in high school, maybe dated in college, that for whatever reason, like it didn't work out. And now all these years later, you're in a better position where you can reach back out and be like, hey, like what's going on? We should meet up and blah, 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 blah. And that could be another way that you end up meeting somebody that could actually work out for you.
Sharing how you met?
I think it was Facebook.
Facebook?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. What made you respond to the message? Did you just like the way he looks, or did you know him?
I don't really remember.
Yeah, we didn't know each other, and
by the way, all these women seem very, very apprehensive. Like, it's like they're happy to be with the guy, but just, something about, honestly, women being on camera, like if they don't think their makeup looks great or they haven't had time to get ready, then them being on camera is automatically like, oh God, I don't want it. It's not about him. It's about, the camera's there. So, okay.
He was just asking questions about the city that I was living in. So I was okay.
You were smooth. You went in like under the cover.
Sneaky,
Sneaky, good.
I was like, we're moving to the same place, let's hang out, let's, just to be friends. And then, we started dating.
Awesome, cool. What do you guys?
So with that story in particular, for one, he reached out to her in the DMs. So for those of you that have Instagram or Facebook and you're thinking, should I reach out to somebody? That's going to seem weird all of a sudden if I reach out and they don't know me and it's weird. I've been able to do that where I've reached out to people that I, thought were attractive. Either I knew them on Facebook or they were a friend of mine's, and I wanted to reach out and say, hey, so-and-so, I know so-and-so. This might seem kind of weird, but I think you're attractive and I'd love to take you out sometime. And you coming off like that, where you're sounding genuine, like, hey, aside from you being hot, I really want to actually get to know you before I have a full blown on crush. That can actually be a method that is able to help you really expand your dating pool, because you're not going to be able to really meet every single person in person that you want to date, but you might see somebody online that's like, oh, I'd never meet them in real life. Otherwise, this could be a way to reach out. Worst case scenario is they say, thanks for the compliment, I'm not interested. But that's really not like a big punishment, so it's worth trying out.
Do you mind sharing really quickly how you initially met?
We met on like an app, like
Tinder, Bumble.
It's called Wiz.
I've never heard of that. Wiz.
Yeah, it's like not really like a dating app. It's more like a friend making app.
Okay.
So you see their profile and then you message them, and then they have to message back for 2.
So you're like, I'm looking for more than friends, like.
No, I asked her. I was like, do you work at Publix? Because she had like a green shirt on.
Okay.
And she's like, no, I work at Duffy's.
His opening line to her was, do you work at Publix? And he met her on an app designed to just meet up as friends. And you can tell she's very, of the two of them, she's very, very attractive. And he is just like, as Kevin Samuels would say, average at best. Like he is like maybe a little below, but he had the gall to try. He had the gall to talk to her on the app. He had the gall to say, hey, I know it's the friend app, but can we go on a date or whatever like that? And now they're together in public. She's still looking like, you know, the top of the tops. He's dressed like he just rolled out of bed and found some playground clothes. And yet and still, they're still together. And she looks like she's genuinely smitten and happy to be with him. All right. But yeah, this is, again, examples of how you can meet women.
And that's how it started.
So did you guys meet up initially as friends, or you went out right away?
I think we went out right away, yeah. I asked her out like the first time, yeah.
Cool, awesome. Would you mind?
Asked her out the first time they met up, okay? You can't make this up. So yeah, for you guys that are on these various dating apps, it doesn't take forever also. You can message women and after a few messages and say, hey, let's meet up. I'd love to take you out. It doesn't take you a week of talking to do that.
Mind really quickly sharing how you guys initially met?
We had a friend in common, so we ended up going to the beach together, so that's how we met.
Your friend introduced you guys?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
Were they like, hey, you guys are perfect together?
So actually, I was moving from LA to Miami, and she also was moving from New Jersey to Miami. This friend in common told us, oh, you know what, I have a friend who is moving to Miami as well, so let me introduce you both so you guys can maybe hang out in Miami.
So yeah, again, this goes back to this another example of meeting through friends where this guy was like, I'm moving here. And then his friend was like, hey, I know this girl that's moving down there too. You guys should just meet up and hang out. And so this is why it's really important to keep your network of friends tight-knit. Make sure that you don't try to burn too many bridges, because you never know which friend of yours is going to be the one that could potentially introduce you or suggest you to somebody that could be the love of your life.
Circle game. That's a good friend.
Yeah. So we ended up meeting here in Miami, and since then we are dating.
Awesome. Cool. Would you guys mind really quickly sharing how you met?
Yeah, sure. I met this is my wife Nikita. I'm Elias. So I met my wife in Switzerland.
Okay.
My band was touring.
Okay.
I was playing professional music as a guitar player in a band called Crazy Town.
And then
Crazy Town. They had a very popular song back in the day. I can't think of the name of it, but I'll put it on screen somewhere here once I look it up. So you see what the song is, right? But yeah, so he met this woman on tour. So obviously he's a rock musician, which means he's got a bunch of ladies throwing themselves at him. But it's important this was actually included in because, again, prior to this particular clip, we've seen a bunch of clips now of average-looking, ordinary dudes that are not rock stars that were able to get women as hot as her, and in some cases hotter than her. All right. So you ain't got to be a rock star. You just have to be able to have the boldness to approach women that you want to go after.
Recognized you, or how did it happen?
We just like kind of locked eyes, love at first sight type thing.
Yeah, I text him.
Okay. And then she would come meet me every time we toured Europe. She met me in like the UK, she met me in Germany, she met me in Romania,
we went to Greece.
Italy, Greece, and then she came to Los Angeles.
And they were traveling all over the place.
Moral of the story, just be a professional musician.
There you go. Yeah.
So how did you guys meet?
Work happy hour.
Okay, so you guys worked together.
I was contracting for her company.
Okay. You weren't worried about like the Me Too thing at all, or?
We met 4 years ago. It was before it.
Okay, nice.
Well, I was kind of in the middle of it. But
so it was a happy hour, you came up to her like, hey, we worked together, blah, blah, blah.
It was, she was the aggressive one.
Okay. She was the...
Why do I always tell you guys? Again, if they're chasing you, they can't be replacing you. So this guy, they work together, and this dude's making the assumption that, oh, you must have approached her. And then it's like, surprise, surprise, she's the one that went after him. She saw something she liked. And I mention this quite often, right? Is that women don't come across guys every day that they're going to be a match for. And so that's why I tell you guys that of the two sexes, women are the ones that need to be coming to you. And that's going to show you that they have high interest, because women aren't meeting guys like that every day. So when they meet somebody that they think they could gel with, they're going to make sure that they do everything they can to make sure that you know that they are available exclusively to you. And so, yes, there needs to be like a fair exchange of, obviously you're going to ask her out. You're going to want to take her places and stuff like that. You're going to spend your time, energy, effort, money to try to impress her. But there's also a balance of this of you need to give a woman the space to prove that she wants you by coming to you, by not texting her all the time so she texts you, by making sure that she's putting herself in your space, by you not always trying to pester her to be around you. This is very important.
One. Okay.
I was contracting for a company, so I couldn't make the first move.
Right. What made you really like him? Like, what did you?
He was the only young guy. We work in tech, and it was all like cool.
So right place, right time type of thing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So that's the other thing too, guys. Consider putting yourself in places where there's not going to be a lot of competition. Like she said, they work in tech where it's mostly older dudes. So if he's one of the few younger dudes there, that by default is going to allow her to be able to pick him out a lot quicker than she would maybe in other environments. All right. So you might want to consider that, because there are a lot of things like just, hobby activities, for example, that women will go to that a lot of dudes, maybe your age, wouldn't consider going to. That might be a place you actually want to go to meet women and be able to stand out from the other people that might be a little bit older.
Would you mind really quickly sharing how you guys initially met?
He and his family moved recently next door to me, and I was outside just smoking. Okay. And then he came outside and he stared at me, and I was just like, "You want some?" And
so she made the first move. He appeared outside, and her first move was, "Hey, do you want to smoke this thing?" or whatever like that. But the point is, she saw him, she liked him, she made the move. And I tell you guys too, women aren't going to always be like overly aggressive with their moves. Like, they're not going to be like, "Hey, my name is so-and-so and I'm really interesting, blah, 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 blah." But they might do something passive like, "Oh, hey, you want to come over here and hang out? You want to talk for a little bit? Hey, you want to smoke this thing or whatever?" Like, these are the moves that women are going to make. And we're thinking as guys, well, she didn't directly say that she was interested, so therefore she must not. And it's like, you got to look beyond that. And when women are throwing stuff at you, especially if you're like a guy that she doesn't know and she starts randomly talking to you, that's usually a very high sign of something that if either they're just being extra friendly or they're interested enough to see if you're going to come and, accept whatever move they make to be able to get to know you a lot better.
I commented on his tattoos.
So you offered him a joint, he said yes, and then what happened after that?
We started casually.
It was a very intense conversation.
Very intense.
She and me, yeah. It was like love first.
We liked each other for sure. Yeah. There was a vibe.
Okay. But you guys were neighbors.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were.
So moral of the story, just move in next to a hot girl, man.
Exactly.
And if she offers you something, say yes.
Say yes. Cool. What do you got?
Now that's funny, but for you guys that are in apartment complexes or you're in like neighborhoods or cul-de-sacs where you have neighbors that may be single, this is the thing. I know especially introverted guys can be very hard to think about going out there and trying to just approach women or just knock on their doors and get to meet them or whatever. But if you are in an apartment complex, most of them usually have like social gatherings or like they'll have events in the lobby, or if they have special rooms, they're like, "Hey, we're going to have this thing once a month. We do this, whatever." Like, start going to those, because you could be meeting potential neighbors that, for one, they're there in your apartment complex. So it's very easy to know where they live and get to see them versus having to drive across town. And also you'll get to vibe with them a lot better because they're going to start to see you more. And the more a woman sees you, you become familiar stimuli. You being familiar stimuli is going to be one of the best ways that you're able to bypass a woman's shield, because she's going to be like, "I've seen him so many times that subconsciously I already trust him, and I don't see him quite enough yet to really, I haven't spent a lot of time with him, but now I feel like I could do that and it'd be totally fine."
Guys mind really quickly sharing how you met?
He was playing baseball, so I met him in the field.
Were you playing with him or?
No, I was outside.
Who came up to who?
It was a month of trying, so I came up to him.
And you were like, "Hey man, I like the way you throw that ball. You got some good catching skills. Let's go on a date."
No, it was more of a friend thing. I was like, "Let's hang out." I don't know. Okay. And then, we ended up going on a couple of dates. Okay. And well, the rest is history.
Again, this video should really be showing you guys that when women like you, they help you. When women like you, they come up to you. When women like you, they're trying to say things or do things or put themselves in your orbit to make sure that you know that they're around. This is like the fourth or fifth woman that's done that. "Oh yeah, I came up to him. Oh, he was playing baseball and I would go out in the field and blah, blah, blah." Like, dating doesn't have to be that hard, but you do have to put yourself out into the world so women of the world know that you are available to, if nothing else, approach, And this isn't to say, by the way, that you as the guy should not approach, because you still should be out there trying to say hi to women, trying to talk to them in some capacity. But I am saying that there's going to be a good level of women out there that will also approach you if they find you attractive.
Mind sharing how you guys met?
We met in a building right like 3 blocks down. She used to work downstairs from where I lived.
Okay, so she was working and then you came up to her and said hi?
No, she was actually walking around in the building and I came up to her and said hi.
And then you guys went on a date and...
Yeah, I started buying her food and I got her through her stomach.
Oh, buying her food, okay. Because she was working, she was making food.
Yeah, so I always gave her food and bought her food.
And then eventually you asked her on a date?
Yeah.
And how long have you guys been together?
13 years.
Wow, that's a long time.
Now, some of you guys might think, okay, this dude was simping. He was just buying this strange woman. He didn't know food all the time. And I guess, isn't that kind of bribing her? But you have to read every situation you get into. So if he had an inkling that just them talking, that she was, for one, she was allowing these conversations to happen, and she wasn't like running away when he would try to come and talk to her, then that's a situation where he could hedge his bets. He could say, okay, what are the odds that, if I buy food for her, it'll allow us to eat together, we can spend more time together, and then I can build up the confidence to eventually ask her out. And some women, you might feel like you can just ask them out right away. Some women you might have to do a build for because maybe they've been through experiences or maybe they're getting over somebody or whatever. But the point is that as long as she was saying yes to his advances, he was sticking in there. So you guys don't want to be giving up just because you talk to a woman once and you get kind of an odd vibe and you're assuming that vibe is like indicating that she doesn't want to be with you. Like, give it a couple of times, ask her out a couple of times, see if you're actually getting rejections or if it's just all in your head before you completely just abandon the situation.
We got married in Colombia and we've been together. Actually today's our anniversary.
Congratulations, guys. Would you guys want to share how you initially met?
It was during COVID on Tinder.
Tinder, okay.
From there, started dating for off and on for about a year. And
did he have a good profile?
He did, actually. Had some college pictures and stuff. And
some good photos? Okay.
Some good photos.
Ironic.
Okay, so this is a guy, he had an online dating profile, and he had some great pictures up. So what I tell you guys, that ultimately, I said earlier, like the one guy didn't have the best profile, but he was still able to get the woman. So this is an example of just because that happened, that doesn't mean that that's the norm. That is an outlier. For the most part, you really do want to hone in on what your best pictures are going to be, what your best angles are, and put your best foot forward on dating apps as it pertains to your pictures and also your bio. If you need help with that, go to introvertdatingsuccess.com and we can help you figure out how to put together a dynamite profile, because I had a lot of years of success doing online dating and I'd love to help you out.
Her mom texted me when we were split that she had moved to Tampa where I was living.
The mom was determined to...
yeah, because he decided to date another girl while still talking to me.
I just knew at the end of the day that she was the right one for me. So
he was just making sure.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta be sure, Would you mind?
Now that's slick, but I'm glad he included this in because I want to point this out, right? And this is something that Doc Love RP used to say all the time. He used to say, kitty cats compete, meaning that, when you're out there dating, if women know that other women are possibly interested, A, that makes them more interested, and B, that makes them put in more effort than maybe they would have in the first place. So this is an example of this girl said, notice what she said. She said, well, he was still dating other girls while we were still talking. Notice she didn't say we were actually in a relationship. Just during the talking phase, which I tell you guys, if you're just talking to women, you can date however many of them you want to. At the point where you decide to be in a relationship, that's when you abandon these other women. But notice that he was still out there dating when they were talking, which to me means that she hadn't quite made up her mind. And he was like, well, she ain't made up her mind yet. I can still go play. And then you could tell it bothered her, but it bothered her to where she was like, I want to lock this down. And now they're in a relationship. So she can be acting like, I was really upset when that happened. And she probably was, but it didn't deter her from staying with the guy. It actually made her want to get with him more. All right. So this is a lesson for you guys. Yes. I don't care if you meet a girl on a dating app and after 2 dates, you're like, she's the girl of my dreams. You need to continue allowing yourself to be open to dating other people until such a time as she comes to you and says, either what are we? Are you still dating other people? Or can you get rid of these other girls for me? All right. But again, they met on a dating app. That's like I said, this is a great avenue to meet people. I'm telling you.
Sharing really quickly how you guys met.
We met at Blackbird.
Okay, so it was at a bar.
Yeah, but it was like through a mutual friend.
So like a friend introduced you guys at Blackbird?
So I went to UF. My friend went to UF and she was like his childhood friend growing up. And then we met at Blackbird through her.
So again, meeting through people. Keep your networks tight, people. Don't burn those bridges.
How long have you guys been dating for?
4 years. We actually just got engaged. So.
Oh, congrats. Do you guys mind sharing how you guys met?
Of course, yeah. I'm a gastroenterology fellow, so we go to multiple hospitals, we go to multiple offices. I was doing my hepatology rotation, and I saw this stunning nurse practitioner. And
now pause. Now clearly this guy, it's weird because I can't tell if he works out or if he's out of shape. Like he has the kind of muscle mass where it could be either or both. But you might see him be like, oh, but Harry, he looks like an Adonis. He's extra tall and he's got all these muscles. No wonder he was able to score like a hot chick. But this is like, I think this is the last person that he interviews. But you got to look at the entire video prior to this. There's been plenty of examples of skinnier dudes, out of shape dudes, short dudes, or the woman is taller, and they were able to get these hot chicks. So if he had started the video with this, I could see where it'd be like, oh, this whole video is going to be about all these muscular dudes and how they got all these hot chicks. Like, of course, it's very obvious, but that's not the case. The reality is that all these dudes were able to get all these hot women because they put themselves out there in a variety of different ways, whether it was knowing them through other friends, whether it was going on dating apps, whether it was approaching. And that's how they got these women. Because yes, this guy got this woman, but another guy could have got this woman if he'd been willing to approach. But did that happen? No. And I'm gonna let this story play out because it's interesting at what point they decided he realized that she was interested.
And normally you don't poop where you eat, right? Shit where you eat, you're not supposed to do that. Yeah. But in this case, we kept running into each other at the office and conversations got better and better, but I respected her. It's like the workplace, you don't want to cause any ripples. Where it changed was I was looking at a very important CT scan of a patient. She came in when I was with my attending and we were looking at the scan and she goes like, so we were looking and she puts her hand like this as we're looking at the scan. And I noticed the hand lingered a little bit too long.
And that was it, he knew.
Then there was a little bit of finger tapping, and I was like,
So there are
So this guy here, yes, they were working together or in class together. I forget which one it was, but the point is that like they were seeing each other back and forth. And so, yeah, when you're in a woman's orbit and just her seeing you on a more consistent basis, she'll start to get the idea in her head that this is a guy I can trust. This guy I'm having good conversations with. I actually really like the way that we're interacting with each other. But he knew to read for context clues. He knew that she wasn't going to come out right out the way and just say, hey, I like you, we should go out. But what happened? She put his arm around him and she did a couple of taps. And those taps were enough for him to realize, oh, she probably has interest in me. So be looking for, is a woman trying to initiate touches with you? Is she giving certain kinds of innuendos, making kind of jokes? Because those could be the things that she's passively doing as a means of saying to you, dude, I like you. Please ask me out for the love of God.
Few very interesting observations that I have as a result of this experiment. So you hear all the time like, oh, everyone's meeting each other online, but it doesn't seem like that's really the case. It seems like something like maybe 1 out of 3, maybe 2 out of 5 of the couples we interviewed met online. But it seems also a lot of people are still meeting either through friends, at work, and also quite a lot of people met from cold approach, even though they didn't know they were doing cold approach. They just saw a cute girl at a bar, or they saw a girl, that was during the daytime that worked somewhere, and they went up and said hi to her, right?
And I think so many guys get hung up on what cold approach should be versus what it actually is, because we're thinking we got to have some kind of slick line to go up there and we got to go out and talk to a bunch of women. And it really could be something as simple as like, hi, hey, what are you doing? Hey, what's with this bar? What do you think of this drink? Whatever. Like, that's really cold approach. It's not having to be something that you're not. It's not having to come up with some kind of slick thing to say. It's just simply approaching and saying something of some kind that starts a dialogue. And if they reciprocate that dialogue, boom, you've now done a successful approach.
So again, it's not all online that people are meeting. People are still meeting through very traditional methods that they were decades ago. The second thing is when it comes to Tinder, we saw a lot of couples where the girl was better looking than the guy. Right now, again, you hear that Tinder is 80% men, and there's something true to that, right? But you can still meet an attractive girl who's even potentially above your league if you have a decent profile. We saw that with multiple of the guys, right, who were definitely like, no spring chickens. There were guys who were like very average looking with girls that were like pretty attractive, right?
And dudes, I'm telling you, it is very, very possible. Don't think that it's just a bunch of ugly women on dating apps. There are plenty of well-to-do professional or teachers or wannabe homebodies or whatever attractive women online that have a good head on their shoulders that simply just don't want to, throw themselves out there in a way where they got to meet somebody at a club or meet somebody at a bar or something like that. They could just be like, I'm busy and I don't go out that much, but I want to meet somebody. And I think doing it through a dating app is the best way to do that. So you can meet attractive, sane women on dating apps. All right. Just want to, like I said, I don't believe in closing down any kind of avenue where you could potentially meet the love of your life.
And again, they said they met on Tinder, right? So that should be very encouraging for anyone who's discouraged with online dating. Also, we saw quite a few people who met through Instagram and Facebook cold DMs, right? That is definitely doable. And that's something that I personally never really done, but I've heard stories of people doing that, right? And again, if you're persistent, right? And especially if you have a little bit of like an in, like maybe you guys go to the same college or you have a mutual friend, that can give you a pretty good advantage, especially also if you're not going super sexual, super direct, and you're like, hey, I just moved to the city, you know, we should get together, blah, blah. If you take that angle and then slowly build your way up, which is something we saw a lot of people do. And
yeah, that's very important, guys. If you're going to be out there approaching women or doing certain things, just understand that you trying to go super sexual early on. If you've been doing that up to this point or trying to say things like, hey, baby, you're so hot or whatever, that's probably really what's causing the lack of success. Because yes, women want to hook up too, but there's other barriers and walls that you need to break through, even if it's just for a little bit before that happens. And so you want to approach them as if you should be approaching them as if you genuinely want to connect with them. You want to see what they're about. Yes, you think they're pretty. Yes, you want to hook up with them, but you really want to see if there's a deeper connection there beyond just the bedroom physical. And I used to tell girls all the time, like, yeah, like hookups are great, but like afterwards, when we're done for however long that took, I got to want to talk to you. I got to want to spend time with you. And if I don't, then I'm wasting my time with the hookup. So you got to give off that same kind of energy so they'll know that you're not in it just for that.
Of course, obviously, social circle is still a great way to meet people. You saw that working out really, really well. But the point of this video was really showing you that you can actually meet an attractive girlfriend through any number of means. You can meet her through dating apps. You can meet her through Instagram. You can meet her through cold approaching. You can meet her in the social circle. The real thing that comes down to is you. Are you willing to do it? Are you willing to go out there and put yourself out there and talk to girls? And the answer is yes, you can get yourself an attractive girlfriend. Hopefully this video really drives that point home.
Yeah, so yeah, that's a solid video by Playing with Fire. Definitely check out his channel because he's got a lot of great content on there. He does other street style interviews as well as giving his own takes on some of this dating stuff. So definitely check him out. But yeah, guys, hopefully this gave you guys some more hope on the how to and where to and the kinds of approaches that you can do and what women will respond to. Because yes, pretty highly attractive women will say yes to you in a variety of different approaches if you are bold enough to actually try. So thank you for watching this video. For more content, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like this video. Also, if you want some one-on-one coaching or you want to check out my eBooks, audiobooks, albums, programs, all this other stuff designed to help you date as an introvert while getting your alone time, go to introvertdatingsuccess.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. I'm out. Peace.
You's a bad boy, but you can't stop, won't stop. You a high-earning, high-value, high-class man. You a high-earning, high-value, high-class man. You a high-earning, high-value, high-class man. You a high-class man. You a high-class man. You a high-earning.